Today I'm going to talk you through the opening and closing ceremonies that we do at the start and end of every Iago class, and also the Mai Kata. I'm using a wooden bokken today, and I'm going to be doing this very slowly. If you're using a sword in your house, be very careful about what's around you. I would suggest either use a bokken and do it slowly, or maybe use something like a ruler or a wooden spoon so you've got something to hold in your hand so you can then visualise the sword where that goes. So the first thing I'm going to do is the opening ceremony. You'll see I'm holding the sword with the sagyo looped around my thumb, a nice relaxed posture just in front of my hara, my belly there, and this is called Teito. So I'm just going to take a breath and then I'll call you to attention with Yame. And then the first thing we're going to do is bow to Kamaza, which is a shrine to represent your ancestors or something that's relevant to you. This could be a little statue of the Buddha or just something to visualise that respect. And I like to think of the people who've gone before me in this art. So we turn to Kamaza. I extend the sword out in front of me, swap it to my right hand with the blade facing down, and I'm just going to bow to Kamaza. Kamaza Nari. Bring the sword back into my left hand, back into Teito. Then I'm going to kneel into Seiza. And I'll just do Hakama Sabaki to tidy my hakamas. So I extend the sword in front of me, let the sagyo drop, smooth it out, present the sword with the blade facing outwards, and place it on the ground in front of me. And what I'm going to do is bow to the sword to show respect to the sword. Kore, and then extending my left hand, then my right hand, bow. Right hand, left hand. Now reach out, pull the sagyo towards me, lift the sword up, and I'm just going to put it away in my belt now. So I put one thumb into the outer loop of the obi, and then hook the end of the saya around a hakama string, and this keeps the sword steady in my belt. And we'll take the sagyo and knot that into my hakama strings. So that is now securely in my belt. Sword's nice and secure. I'll just take another breath. I'm going to stand up now. So we're going to do the Kata Mai. So we start, both hands off the sword. Take a breath. First thing you do is Ishin, which is assess the situation around you. So this is part of the visualization. So I'm just going to consider I've got somebody kneeling in front of me. That's the situation. So Kata starts with my hand on the sword, thumb on the tsuba for safety. And I do Mushin. So I empty my mind, I know what I've got to do. Okay, so I'm going to now kneel into Seiza with Hakama Sabaki again. And both hands off the sword. Just breathe again. So I'm visualising somebody kneeling about arm's length in front of me, something like that. Same height, same size as me. So I sense hostile intent. I don't know what that could be. I might see their eyes flicker towards me, or I could see the hand start to move towards the sword. So I'm going to answer that. So my hands go to the sword. I kneel up. I start to draw, turning the saya 90 degrees in my belt. I'm kneeling with this knee up. I'm drawing. And I'm pulling the saya back. That's saya biki. So that gets that saya out of the way, and that aids in the draw as well. So this sword is now in their eye line. So I'm going to push forward. That pushes them back, so they can draw their sword now. I'm bringing the sword back over my left shoulder in Furikaburi, raising it into Jodan no Kumai. Now this is you have to be careful what's above you. And I'm going to cut in Jodan. So the sword comes down, that's cutting them in two. twist the sword in my right hand, bring it back over my right shoulder this time, hand to the obi, that's keeping that left hand out of the way, and it's also holding the saya in my belt. Stand up, bring the sword up, over and round, and this is Ochibori, so this is to shake the blood off, and that should finish with a nice flick at the end, and that shakes the blood off the sword. Now I'm going to change my foot position, so you'll notice here I'm going into a long stance, so I'm nice and steady here as I bring the saya out, checking as I've got the kuragata, feeling that with the back of my palm, so I know that I've got holding the saya in the right position now. And I draw the back of the sword across, remember the koiguchi, the sword starts to go away, and as it goes away, I'm kneeling, thumb on for safety at the end, stand up again, feet together, right hand off, step back, left hand off, and that's the kata finish, that's mine. So, closing ceremony, end of the class. Again, I'll call you to attention. Yame, come to attention. And kneeling again. This time, I'm going to pull the sword out of my belt, and I can use that quick release knot to just pull the sagyo loose, taking over with my right hand, looping the sagyo over my thumb, holding on, putting my hand against my belt as I pull the last bit of the saya out, so it's nice and neat. Lay the sword down, smooth that sagyo out. This time, the sword is facing with the blade inwards. That shows peaceful intent now. So at the start of the lesson, the blade is facing outwards to show I'm ready for hostile action, and at the end, the blade is facing inwards. I've overcome my threat, my enemy. There's no more threat, so the blade is facing towards me. Again, I'm going to bow to the sword with to-rei, so to-rei. Again, reaching out for the sword, lift it up between my knees, smooth that sagyo down, lift it onto my hip, bringing that left hand up, taking over the sagyo, looped around my thumb, holding the sword in front of me, and standing up. Okay, so now we would bow again to sensei, step back, and bow to the dojo. And that's the closing ceremony. At that point, you can put the sword away, you can loop the sagyo around, tidy it up. So that is opening ceremony, my closing ceremony, which is the most important fundamentals of katas in Iaido. Get that right, and that's a good foundation. Thank you.